sport spot of today. Anyone want to guess what's this sport?
Resistance! We also have a tour guide.
Yeah, correct answer. So the President House is also built in the Japanese era. It was in 1919. And the speciality of this architecture, you can think, you also see that it's pretty similar to the red house we just saw. So it's basically pretty much the same one from the Western style. But the design they make is that if you look from the sky, I don't know why Japanese like to do that, but if you look from the sky, it's the shape of the kanji of the sun. The Chinese character sun, because the sun is also the first character of Japan in Chinese. So they try to make this
Excuse me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so they do this, try to emphasize they're the boss here during that time. And again, this place was also bombarded in the Second World War. So you see those architecture mostly is rebuilt after 1945. And we preserve it nowadays until now. And so here usually I will mention about the political situation here because the history after the Japanese colonization is pretty complicated. So we usually take time to explain to guests because a lot of people they cannot really tell what's the difference in China or Taiwan. And a lot of people will ask me, do you think yourself is a Chinese or you're Taiwanese? So I will explain this story here. So in 1945, the Japanese, they lose the war, but they have to return back to China. But who is China? At the moment, China is the communist and the Kuomintang. The other party is fighting against with each other. So there is not really a real political party that owns Taiwan. But then the Kuomintang, the blue party, they retreat back to Taiwan. So they think they took over here, but they want Taiwan just as a base to fight back to China one day. So they were just kind of like, they just want to stay here for a short while, but the fact is that they just stay here, and then after that, you know, the communists, they won the war. So basically they never really fight back afterwards. So the current, the government which ruling us was the Kuomintang after that for about 50 years. And then until 1996, we first have our presidential election, which is actually a long time. Later I will introduce why it took so long to get our first election in the 228 Memorial Park. But here I will let you know we've already been through 2 times political party changes. So since 1996, when we're first holding our president election, it was actually causing a lot of trouble because the China, the communist one, they still think they have us. So when we want to hold our first presidential election, they were kind of furious. So they even threatened us, we're aiming missiles at you. If you want to do that, then you have to pay the price. But then you know all the story, that in the end, it didn't really happen. And then it was the Kuomintang. They won the party in 1996. But after 4 years, there's a Democratic Progressive Party, the green one. They won the second election. So that's the first political party changes in Taiwan history. And for the blue and the green one, that is the 2 biggest party in Taiwanese history. For the blue one, you can think of it, they're more pro-China, they want to fight back or they want to unite with China one day. And the other one, the Green Party, they're pro like Taiwanese independent, those kind of issues. So most youngsters, they are probably pro the green one, or they basically most of them didn't support the blue ones. But the blue ones, they get a lot of votes from the elder people because you know some elder people they move from China to Taiwan with them at the moment. So and also a lot of them are like soldiers or they work under the blue party. So they will still think that the blue party do a good favor for them. So that's like the conflict between like the people from China and the original Taiwanese people, and they caused a lot of conflicts during that time. Later in February 228 Memorial Park, I will explain more about the conflicts during that time. And what's special about here is that this is the Katagala Boulevard. Katagala is an ethnic group in Taiwan. So basically, Aboriginal is a very important part in Taiwan history. So if you know the Universidad, the kind of the Olympic for the college students, which is held in Taipei just last month, they also have a lot of Aborigines performing on that stage. And what is special about this boulevard is that they will have a lot of protests just right here. And what you have to do is you only have to apply, and then if it gets passed, you can come here in the weekends or any day. Basically, it's only weekends. So like this year, we've already held like LGBT marriage parade, and also like some teachers, they're holding the pension parade because the government is trying to cap their pension. So any issue. I've also seen like communist people just standing right there claiming their issues, saying we want to unify Taiwan or something. So it's pretty much a pretty free country to say all the things you want here. Yeah.
Does it change something, or is it just you just come here and?
Yeah, it did change something.
Have a good time.
Have a good time. Yeah.
It's important too.
Yeah.
It raises awareness, and also he was talking about the LGBTQ protest, and the next day it was the anti-LGBTQ protest. So it's a really free country, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, and they're really making some pushes to the government, like the LGBT group. They make the judge to explain the constitution, and the judge say that the same-sex marriage should be legal in 2 years. So at the moment, the parliament is pushing for this marriage law to be processed. Yeah. So we might be
The first Asian country.
yeah, if everything goes well, we might be. Yeah. So, any question about this boulevard or the Taiwanese government situation?
So you all got the political relations sorted out. Really? Wow, that's great.
Does Taiwan have diplomatic representations in all the countries?
Just
Is
about
that
20 to 30.
Yeah, we have the official relationships with 20 countries. Oh, and there are 200 fucking countries.
Because of the rest, China doesn't.
Because the
Prevents
countries
it,
can
kind of.
only choose China or Taiwan.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's 20 that.
Yeah,
Have
about 20.
official,
And
but the others we do like Taiwan Trading Company, but it's actually all the visas and stuff you do that over there.
Yeah, so most of those countries, they're in Africa or South America, Central South America. And like the the big news in this year is the Panama cut the relationship with us because China gives them more money. That's happening every year, so very like increasing. You know, sad story for us, but that's the reality. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the February 20th part.
Well, is it possible to visit the palace?
Oh yeah, you can do that every
The more countries allowed.
That's the boulevard. It's pretty huge, by the way. Really, really vast.
The whole na pwede kang pumasok.
We're off to the next stop. That was our 4th stop of this tour.